This is my workshop on how to build and deploy your own personal website as quickly as possible. So, firstly, let's run through why you would want to build a personal website. Well, for us computer science students, we're going to go through recruitment processes, and a way to stand out during this process to recruiters is to build your own personal website. And the reason for that is that we can be able to show our work and our projects on our website, and it will give us a bit of an edge as recruiters are able to see more fully your personality, your work, and what you've achieved through stuff like having your code there, maybe video demonstrations on your website and images on your website. These things can give them more in-depth perspective about your capabilities. So that's the most straightforward reason why. And another reason I think is that it could be a really good learning opportunity, and something that I realized after building my own personal website was that it's not actually that difficult to build and host your own website. Because as someone who'd never done it before, it felt like a really daunting task. Like you have to pay for a custom domain, and you have to do all this complex stuff. But I think getting that first step in doing this quickly and easily can be a really good learning experience. So let's get started. What would we want in this website? In our checklist, we firstly have, of course, your full CV and resume so that recruiters can um, get to know who you are like through this website as well. If they've never seen your CV and resume, that's a really good way of getting them to see it. And then you can also link to your social media like your LinkedIn and definitely your GitHub to show your work and your repositories. And then more project details. And this part is also really important. You can be able to show photos, videos of demonstrations of your projects, and even maybe people you've worked with. You always want to show that you're a people person, right? You've worked with other people on collaborating on projects. That's a really good thing to show through like photos and videos. So, keeping those this checklist in mind, let's look at a good example. So, this is a CS influencer. I found his portfolio online, and you can see that the structure of his website is actually pretty simple, right? He just has this is like his navigation, not his navigation. Like this is like the main like part where he just shows his face, and then there's like moments, a carousel. This is also pretty simple, and then look, link to his LinkedIn, link to his resume, uh, LinkedIn posts. This is all to show his work, right? And the thing is, the way that he did this was also really simple, and it's similar to the way that I'll be showing you how to do it in this workshop. So let's move on and get to today's activity. So what you want to do is follow along with how I build this personal website, and of course, replace it with how you would want to market yourself. So first thing we're gonna do, what makes it so easy for us is that we're gonna use a template. So we can go on HTML5 up. There's hundreds of free templates for you to use, and all of these are really good. So if you click onto like this one, for example, maybe you can tell straight away that this one is actually the same template this guy's been using, right? But I guess he changed it a bit. But the good thing about templates is that they give you all these components already. Like give you these icons, images, buttons. Like you don't have to code any of this from scratch. You can just replace the words and like the actual images with what you want to show. So what we'll do is we'll download this. It's downloaded as a zip file, so you have to unzip it. I'm just gonna unzip it in my downloads. Wait, this one, yeah. Okay, and then I'll open it in my VS Code editor. Let me go open folder, and in downloads it'll say HTML5 up. This one. Okay. So now I've opened it, we want to be able to work on this HTML file and see our updates. So there's this one really useful extension called 5server. So in VS Code, if you want to install that, you should go to extensions, search 5server, and I've already had it installed, but the install button should just be here and then enable it as well. And as you can see, what it does is it allows us to have a live preview of our website. So if I click open with 5server right now, then we'll see what the template has given us. This is how it would look when we've actually like deployed and hosted this website. So that's a really good tool. And then next thing we're gonna do is we'll connect it to our GitHub account. So open your GitHub and create a new repository. It will call it personal website. Okay. And maybe this is my personal website showing my work. Just like that. Create. And now that we've created our website, we can copy this into our command line in VS Code. So let's open a new terminal, copy this in. Now we've initialized the Git repository, so we can see that our changes will be tracked to Git. So let's reload. We don't see anything yet because we haven't committed and pushed our changes. So let's say first commit and do commit. Oh, we also need to stage them and commit and then sync changes. So if we reload, let's see. Commit. Yep. One branch. Main. Git push. Okay, now we're able to see all of our changes. So after you commit, remember to do git push to the main branch. Okay. And the purpose of connecting to repo obviously is to use GitHub pages later on, so that we're able to host it on GitHub pages for free. But we'll think about that later. First thing we should do is let's customize our website. So let's change the title. Instead of paradigm shift, we want it to say my personal website. Okay, see, now it changed. And we could say, hi, I'm Benjamin, University of Toronto Computer Science. Oh, student. University of Toronto, Mississauga, of course. And then we can see that there's the live update here, right? And we'll add an image in as well. So in this case, I'll use LeBron James. So let's drag this in. Since it's in the same folder as the HTML file, all we have to do is change this to LeBron. But let's say that we had a folder called, oh wait, it's already here. Let's say we put this into the image folder. Then of course you'd have to do images/LeBron. There we go. We can see an image of me on my website. And when we scroll down, what's the first thing we want to show them? Personally, on my own website, what I did was that I put a portfolio first, and then I had these different articles talking about my experiences. So I think we'll also implement that here. We can say first, in this section, we can say my work. Yep, my work. And then if you change, let's delete this, we don't need this. We'll just put H2 project 1. And one thing that's also really good for personal websites, like I've mentioned, is videos. And if you record a video demonstration of your own projects, then you can easily embed them into your website. So let's go to my YouTube account and go to my channel. And you can see that I have some short project demos. And when you get to these YouTube videos that, remember, you've created, that's a key thing. Because it doesn't always work to embed something that you haven't created. So if you click, I'll slow down. If you click to share and you go to embed, then you can see this iframe, which is a HTML element for embedding videos. So you can just click copy. We'll go back and we can just paste that in. And now if we go see, we have our project and a video, which works perfectly. So let's just say we have multiple projects. Project 1, Project 2, Project 3, Project 4. Of course you would put some more details about what your project actually is. Whoa. Yeah, of course you put more details about what your project actually is. Okay, I think we had to put each of these into the same div, which was the content div. So let's only copy this part. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Okay. We put it like this, and each of them could have a div themselves. And then we can have a little description. So let's say for this project I used Gemini API to create a fitness app to teach people to achieve their fitness goals. Nice. And then we can do this for our multiple projects. Right? And you should definitely customize this to your own projects and replace this title with, let's say, Fitness AI. You could also do something like, what I like to do is, I don't like to write a lot of code myself, so I'll see what they've already provided, and I see down here, right, they have icons provided. So let's say I want to link my GitHub repository for this project. Then I'll go down here, you see the GitHub. I want to use this icon for my project, so I'm just gonna copy this, go all the way back up here. In my div, I'll paste this. Let's see how it looks. Okay, we don't need that bullet point, so delete that. And maybe we'll put this up here. Now we have a little GitHub button, right? But because it doesn't link to anything right now, it doesn't do anything. So let's say we want to link it to a repo. Then we can just put our repo link in. Just use this one for now. Copy this into the href, and then boom, it'll lead to our specific project. So we can, of course, customize the link, put it for each project, make it different, and let's add that in as well for every project. See, we're putting as much of our work as we can, because the more they see, the more that recruiters see, the more they'll be able to like evaluate whether you're fit for the role, right? So putting this GitHub in, all those doesn't look pretty, but the concept is that we want to be able to show them not just video but also the code, because that's also really important. Okay, so now that we've done that, of course you would want to customize it to your own. Like if you have images and not videos, then you can use that instead, and you can make it look better, of course, in your own personal time. And we don't really need this this section, but we want to keep it. We don't just delete it, because we might need to use these components for later on. So what we can do is just comment those parts out. And on VS Code, it's just command. If you're using a Mac, it's command / to comment. So I'll just comment these parts out to make my site simpler. Comment this out. Comment this out. Another thing I just remembered is that when I click this GitHub link, right, it leaves the current page, but I'd rather it open on a new tab. So a really good way of doing that is when you put in the link, you add a field called target. So target equals _ blank. And then this will make it open into a new tab. So if we go back now, opens a new tab, and we still have our personal website open here. That's great. Okay? And we've deleted all those unneeded sections. We want to keep this. Now I think is to a very important part would be the hosting. So after we commit our changes, just added projects, right? Commit, push. Added changes. Commit and push. Okay, done. Now I'll show you how to host the website. So if we go back to our GitHub repository, we go to settings and pages, then we'll be able to deploy from a branch. So we'll choose which branch. Usually you want to click main and root and click save. And now the source is saved. Then after a few minutes, then it will open and host your website for you. So let's wait a few minutes. While we do that, I'll tell you about Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is a really useful resource where you can add your own HTML, CSS, JavaScript components. You can add them through Bootstrap, so you don't have to code it yourself. So for example, in my website, this image carousel, I didn't code it myself, I just took it off Bootstrap. So if you just search Bootstrap and then whatever component you want, let's say you want the carousel like me, just Bootstrap carousel. It'll explain how it works, it'll give you the HTML code for it, and then it will also give you the CSS. Oh, where's the CSS? Okay, I think it's in like older versions, maybe. Do they not provide the CSS? Let's see. Let me read this a bit more carefully. So here's the HTML. Hmm. Let's see. Bootstrap carousel with HTML with CSS. Okay. I guess if you search with CSS, they'll show you. And this is the Sass variables. So this is what I had when I was building my own personal one. And what I did was I just copied this and I went to ChatGPT and I said, please help me convert it to, let's go to ChatGPT. Please help me convert these Sass variables to normal CSS. Right, I paste that in and it'll give us the equivalent CSS. And if you just copy this and put it into your own CSS file like main.css, then that should work. Okay, and we can do this for different Bootstrap components like forms, heroes, banners, stuff like that. Okay, now we've waited a few minutes. We can see that our site is actually live. So look, it's live on the internet. And if I go to just another browser, right, this is another user, like another Google account. If I click on here, it's hosted. That's great. And last thing you might want to do, maybe you don't like how it says this is your long GitHub username .github.io. You want a custom domain. So what you need to do is go to something like GoDaddy. GoDaddy is like a custom domain name like market. You can buy your domain names there. Go on GoDaddy and then let's say I want Ben Tsang. You can see that it costs, looks pretty cheap. Like once you buy it, then you can follow the instructions on here to be able to set up your custom domain. So for me, I used pork bun. So if I go to pork bun, I go to my own domain bensang.co, my custom domain, and you click on the DNS. Then you can point this DNS to like the IP of your to your GitHub like page. So what you have to do is follow these instructions and edit those DNS records, and afterwards then you'll be able to have your personal website have a custom domain like this, like bensang.co here. Okay, so that's it. If you, hopefully you guys removed any barriers you have to building your own personal website. You see how easy it could possibly be. And thank you so much for listening. And yeah, have fun. Thank you.